Okay, we are back, and Richard is on the phone. Richard.
Hey, Richard.
Hey, nice to talk to you, doctors.
Thank
Hey,
you.
there's a thing called this CHF syndrome or something that comes from smoking marijuana, and it's supposed to be escalating in Colorado now that it's been legalized. And I was told when I went to my doctor last time over at Healthcare Partners that it was causing a little hiccup in my kidneys, causing them to fail just a little bit. So he upped my lisinopril from 5 milligrams to 10 milligrams to fight it. Can you tell us something about what this CHF is? And it's supposed to be causing vomiting, nausea, cramping, and making people take hot showers for relief. Do you know anything about that?
I've only heard what you've heard on the paper, but on the news, and it's associated with chronic marijuana use, which is a type of syndrome where they do get nausea, vomiting, and they get some other problems. I haven't done any investigative work on it. That's the first I've heard of it too. You know, people use marijuana to relieve nausea and vomiting, and certain amnestic components to it. So it's one of those things. I mean, people have been using marijuana for years. And I mean, those people that use chronically before it was legal and not legal. I think now that it's legal, they can actually smoke a lot more in freedom, but I'm not so sure what all of that is. And so I really can't tell you because, again, nobody's really doing any studies on marijuana. The federal government's not going to support any studies on marijuana. Every benefit you get from it is from the Journal of Irreproducible Results, meaning what works for you is not going to work for me or not going to work for Dr. Christensen. So there's no way to know, but I do believe that marijuana as an herb and as its components throws a blanket over your nervous system, and it does tend to reduce nerve amplitude or nervous input. So therefore it does reduce pain, it can reduce seizures, it is a central nervous system depressant in that area. So I see it being used, you know, why else would it be used in controlling pain? Because it controls all pain fibers. You know, why would it be used for seizures? Because it's reducing spikes in the nerve transmission so that you get this one irritable focus in your brain, and it kind of sends an electrical pattern. It's like shocking yourself. So, you know, and why it works in anxiety and PTSD and all these other things. So nobody's really done any controlled studies about that. But the FDA does approve one form of marijuana. It's pure THC called Marinol and Dronabinol. And so you can get that, but you get no CBD component to it. So you're getting the pure high, which is so ironic from the government, right? I mean, they totally negate the hemp portion of it, which is certainly curable for a lot of arthritides and a lot of other problems, or at least reported to be. So I'm hoping one of these days the government will finally let go of its control in that area and research can be done, and the answer to that question be coming up. Now, what I'm concerned with, you said CHF is a term we use for congestive heart failure. And so if your doctor at Healthcare Partners said your kidneys were a opponent of that and was putting you on increased lisinopril,
No, it makes sense.
then I would say that it's unrelated to that, and the CHF component in your kidneys making them work a little bit, maybe your blood pressure may be up a little bit, but ACE inhibitors are very, very useful components to congestive heart failure. They help to stabilize the heart muscle. They increase nitrous oxide inside the heart tissues. They reduce inflammation. They reduce sudden death in congestive heart failure, and they do help the kidneys function in diabetes and prevent some of the late stages of it, of some of the what we call nephropathies from diabetes. So that may be, you may have gotten a little confused there. I don't know, Richard, but if I was worried about your congestive heart failure and your blood pressure being up, I might increase your lisinopril from 5 to 10 milligrams too. I think that would be a very wise thing to do.
Well, thanks, Doc. My blood pressure last time I was checked was 122/78, and I was reading up on this kidney problem that they're having in Colorado. They said that this kidney problem has showed up and it's almost tripled, and one way to fix it was The guy just quit smoking pot, and after about 90 days, his kidneys went back to normal. So I just went on a 90-day cleanse about 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to find out next time I go in for my blood work if I'm getting any success from not smoking pot.
Well, I don't know that, I'm not know if it's, direct effect on the kidneys, but I'll do, I can do some research, or if somebody out there knows that. I would be concerned about something else and I don't know the relationship between kidneys and the nausea, vomiting. I think it was just a chronic use led to some persistent nausea and vomiting in that area. So good point. I mean, I think more to this story will be revealed over time as more states start legalizing marijuana. We'll start seeing, more people using it, and we'll start to see issues that develop. I mean, I think before that happens, it's still been on the QT, except in places like Colorado. And I don't know, I had one patient in California, he said they had little shops that you walk in there, you want a marijuana card, they give you a marijuana card for a week, just long enough that you were visiting in California, you could go in and complain of an ailment so you could get a green card, Dr. Green, and go over to the dispensary and get some marijuana. So that seems a little shady to me, but hey, it is what it is, right?
It's California.
California.
All right, well, my card comes up for renewal in March, and I'm not renewing. I'm going to go with my 90-day and see what my kidney result is, and
please,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and please call us back and give us some feedback.
Well, I think I'm going to be changing doctors, so you might be seeing me.
Well, that'd be great. So,
thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful day. So, yeah, I don't know. That's something that
Could the nausea and vomiting be related to, they sound more like detox problems.
I don't know. I just, I saw it on the news like everybody else did. And my brother, who is a physician in Colorado, I'll ask him if he's heard anything about it. I mean, I don't know much about this particular syndrome, but it is associated. And the thing about this very interesting is that we've never heard about this before, right? But marijuana has been forever. So, what is that? Now, I do know there were a lot of unintended consequences for the legalization, the epidemiological studies of, car wrecks and accidents and things like that, people, getting loaded and doing stuff like that. That's just part of the side effects. But, people have been drinking and driving for years and killing people. So, nobody's trying to outlaw alcohol. We did that and just drove it into the basement. So I think if you're going to use marijuana, now that it's legal, just be smart about it. And be careful about what you're doing. And
just be responsible, guys.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Did Marvin call back?
That's me, yeah.
Yep.
Hey, well, for what you're talking about right now, when I came back from overseas back in '59, I went to LA and I smoked a joint down there a guy gave me. That made me goofier than hell. I had no control over my body. And my comment is, whoever legalizes that for the population are idiots, or else they're dope heads themselves. But what I wanted to say was, can I depend on you to pass a message on to Melanie?
Yeah.
Okay. What she prescribed for me, this is what I meant to tell you, was amoxicillin, because I asked you guys for penicillin to get rid of this congestion that I have every so often. And I have a raspy voice because of it, because it comes up from my lungs, and penicillin helped me in California.
Right.
I had bronchial pneumonia back in 1960. And that cleared it up. Every so often, because I worked for an ambulance company, I'd go into Stanford Hospital and help the people, nurses, if they needed help late at night. And we got to know each other. The doctors would give it to me every 3 or 4 years when this when it starts reacting on me. but it's like poison here. Nobody wants to give you penicillin. So what Melanie suggested was amoxicillin.
Right.
She suggested that I don't use it because she prescribed an inhaler. I've been using an inhaler. Well, I'm going to go through the VA to see if I could get that nebulizer.
Yep.
That will go down further. But because my doctor has retired, I got to wait until April before I can get in there. Do you offer that nebulizer?
Yeah, if you have a pulmonary condition, any type of lung condition, then we just write a prescription for a nebulizer and the fluids that go in it, depending on whether you're using albuterol or Atrovent or one of those products. So, all you have to do is have an insurance company, Medicare, Medicaid, whatever it is. We write a nebulizer. It's filled by one of the pulmonary people, and your medications are covered by Medicare. So, pretty easy to do. You don't have to have it done by the VA. You can do it by anybody.
Well, I don't have Medicare, and I don't have Medicaid.
Well, hang on. We got to go to break, Marvin, so don't hang up, and we'll be right back.